like brainstorming together. I think we forgot how to do that as human beings, and it's all about sales and selling and closing a deal. So you're losing that personality that comes behind the sale of something, and like you become out genuine, like you're really a problem solver. And I think people will be more likely to work with someone who's a problem solver instead of someone who's just looking to sell them something they think that's going to work.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
it's kind of like that's the mindset that you're saying. I do this naturally. I'm a problem solver. I come into some room, I'm just going to problem solve everything. If there was a crack on the wall, I'm going to figure out a way I can get that thing fixed. That's just my
Sure.
mindset. When I walk into a room, might automatically want to problem solve something. So would you say it's a natural thing that some people have the ability to be natural problem solvers?
I would say that yes, there are natural problem solvers, but it's more of character. Okay, you hire on character,
Right.
you teach skill sets.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people don't buy what you do. People buy who you are and why you do it.
I like
And
that.
that's what's important to convey. Okay? So like, hey, you can call me whatever you want. I'm the president of Culture Matters University, but I'm here to add value on a daily basis. Okay? So what I do, yes, it's of immense value to many businesses, but who I am as a person and why I do it, being that my purpose is to help cultivate the heightening of consciousness of humanity, that gives a whole different avenue of who I am, and it speaks volumes of who I am on the inside.
Right. Brings out your
Okay.
character.
Right. So, and the reason I read a book. Okay, it's read many books, but this book is by dual doctorate, David R. Hawken, and it's called Power vs. Force. And now this is all about leadership and leading from either a place of force or a place of power. Now, I wish I had a chart to show you guys. However, what they did was they took kinesiology. Okay, kinesiology is the study of the human body and the muscular response to I don't know the right word for it, so I'll just explain to you the experiment that they did. I can't think of a word to describe this and everything else that your body holds. Okay, so they did a study. They took a packet of sugar and they took a piece of sugar cane that was cut off right from the stalk, and they put both inside of an envelope. So you had synthetic sugar, and then you had raw cane sugar. They held one packet in the hand, and they used a machine, and they told the participants to push up against the machine. So they took the raw cane sugar, held it in their hand. The participants didn't know what they had in their hand. It was just an envelope, and they're pushing against the machine. So they pushed up against the machine, and they recorded down the notes, what the power force was. Then they took the synthetic sugar packet, they held it in their hand, they pushed up against the machine again, and they recorded that. And what they found was that the body is able to identify what is good for it versus what is bad for it unconsciously, based upon the muscular reaction of force generated against the machine. So when they had a synthetic sugar packet, the force was low. When they had raw cane sugar straight from the earth, the force was higher.
Wow.
Okay? Secondly, they did another test. They said, here, take this picture of Mother Teresa. Put it in your head. Don't forget the picture. Put the picture down. People kept the image in their head. They pushed up against the machine, and they recorded it down. They said, here, take this picture of Hitler. They said, don't forget the picture. Put the picture in your head. People kept the picture in their head. They pushed up against the machine. What did they find? They found that the muscular force against the machine was greater when they had the picture of Mother Teresa inside of their brain. So the body also reacts to mental stimuli of perception of goodness or not.
Right.
Okay? So, which is why having the right mentality towards things is so important, because your body actually reacts to that. Right? People often wonder, these CEOs, these business owners, these entrepreneurs, how the heck do they have so much energy? And it's not an easy thing. If you were to ask an entrepreneur, how do you have so much energy? They'll say, I just do.
Right. You don't know.
You don't know. Now, I can tell you why. It's because they've formed alignment with their purpose, so they're working through purpose, which aligns internally with their emotional input, chakras,
Right.
and mentally, they've been able to put a positive image associated with hard work,
Oh.
which allows them to keep going.
So you just got into the inside of Kim Castellano.
Yes. So now, power versus force. What Dr. David R. Hawkins did with this study was he charted human emotions, and from 50 to 1,000. 600 to 1,000 is divine enlightenment. So let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about force levels of leadership, which most entrepreneurs lead from. Sorry to tell you. Okay? We think about the industrial age, right? And all of the things that were happening. You had these big factories, you had these CEOs who were exploiting their workers, okay? And the ideology behind that was, okay, the workers work for the company, and for the company's good. Screw the workers' good. You're there to work. You had how many women, in matchsticks factories dying? How many people in, chemical warehouses that were just wide open, breathing in these fumes? Nobody said a word. People died, you replaced them, because guess what? Great Depression. Okay? So these entrepreneurs at that time were leading out of fear. They were leading out of grief, because the general population was in a grieving state. They were already low. So now they're leading from these low consciousness levels, which lack compassion. Okay? So what happens? You have to form a labor unions, right? So now people started catching on. Hey, these businesses are taking the employees' rights away from them, and they're putting them in danger. So we formed, employee unions, and that was the first step towards compassion. Okay.